Hello friends, I'm the scribe of HaBeFaStro. This is the channel of HaBeFaStro, and thank you so much for tuning into HaBeFaStro. And upon a special kind of request from a very good friend of mine called Craig, who I will leave the link to his channel and all of his other social media in the description, he actually had asked for a step-by-step process on how on earth you get started on developing a casting call club account. So I figured that rather than writing up a step-by-step instruction manual, why don't I just give a visual presentation on how not only my good buddy Craig can get a casting call club account, but how you too can achieve an account to such an awesome website to either audition for awesome projects or to host your own awesome projects. And I also realized that this would be quite a long endeavor, so rather than posting up a potentially 30-minute vid, this series is going to be split up into several videos, all of which have a chapter dedicated to a specific topic. And with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and why don't we get into the tutorial, shall we? Chapter 1. Setting Up. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to castingcallclub.com and you should be taken right to the website. After that, you will want to go to the sign up option where you can create your own account. Once you're on the sign up page, then enter your email address. For the sake of this video, I'm using one of my alternate email addresses. Then, create your own username. Whether you decide to use your own professional name, or perhaps a pen name, or a completely different moniker, is entirely up to you. There are almost no limits to what username you can use. For the final bit of signing up, you will want to come up with a password that you can remember. Obviously, I'm not going to show the password that I'm going with, so instead, I'm going to encourage everyone to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please subscribe to Craig's YouTube channel too. Now that we're finished signing up, now it's time for us to describe ourselves. How do you identify your talents, or what you'd like to be casted for, or potentially cast others for? Do you identify as a voice actor, a singer, a producer, live actor, writer, video editor, agent, animator, music composer, artist, director, and perhaps an audio engineer? Feel free to select as many of these trades as you wish. Now, it's time for us to mention how on earth do we find out about this awesome website called castingcallclub.com. By default, castingcallclub.com takes us right to its homepage. To access our profile, dashboard, preferences, and other features, click on your profile picture. And let's go to our profile. Here we are. This is the homepage of Interstellar Adrenaline Wrestling, a temporary account used specifically to give instructions on castingcallclub.com. Next, we're going to want to add a demo if we have one. Also, we will want to give a little biography about ourselves. Feel free to type in as much as you want, be as descriptive as you wish. I'm just going to keep mine short, sweet, and to the point. Blah, 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 blah. If you wish, you can also mention what kind of equipment you use. Sometimes I myself use a Fifine K670 mic, or on occasion I use a Blue Snowball Ice mic, but for now I'm just going to say I use a K670 mic. And now for pricing. Again, this is a completely optional bit. Now, some voice actors are willing to work completely for free, if only to gain experience and to get their name out there, or simply out of the fun of it, while others do highly intend to make this their daily living. In this case, I'm going to say that I'm willing to work for free, but I don't mind paid projects. Lol. Ho ho ho. And then client, testimonial, and education. Again, completely optional. I honestly don't really know what testimonial and client is really supposed to mean, but what have you. Next, let's mention what other platforms we can be found at when we edit our social links. Here you can mention your Twitter, Discord, Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube channel, and your Skype. Next step, let's edit our attributes. This lets other talents know exactly a little bit more about us, such as our interest, what accents we can emulate, what ages we can emulate when we're acting, what genders we can act, how many languages we can speak, and what other skills we may have. Oh, and also what's great about Casting Call Club is the fact that they have automatic tags, meaning that a tag will pop up and you're free to select whichever tag that suits your fancy. And now for the previously completed works. Here you can point out to projects that you have worked on or have been featured on, where you can both name the title and give a link so that others may find it. And now here's a little something that I forgot to show as I was recording this, but I figured I'd show in post, and that is editing your profile picture. For this, you'll want to click on the icon right above your title in orange, and then you'll want to go through your images and pick whatever photo that you feel represents you, your product, your brand, or your cause. Next, we give it a little while to load, and voila! Our picture is all set. And now let's mention, how on earth did we hear about this awesome website called Casting Call Club? To access our... And let's go to our profile. After adding our demo, or on occasion I'll use a blue ice mic. Here you can point out to projects that you have worked on or... Chapter 2, Creating a Project. And now let's get into talking about creating a project. If you're a creative soul who has some ideas in mind for a show or anything, then you know how vital it is to have voice actors every once and again. And for this, we're going to want to go to the Create Project button. I forgot that I'm going to have to verify this email that I've used to sign in here. If you'd be as kind as to give me a second. Okay, the email has been verified, and we are ready to create a project. Now then, let's try this again. Let's go to the Create Project button, and now it's going to mention what kind of searchability we're going to give our project. For this, I'm just going to go to the 5-minute one, since that is by all means the best way to search. And for this project, I'm going to call it Craig is the coolest dude in the entire universe. Which, by the way, this is very much true. Craig is a genius. Now we're in the Create a Project page, so let's create a project. So it's going to mention how we're going to have to give it a name and a deadline. I'm going to leave those as they are. And to add a voice role, you simply push the voice role button. And you can do this for pretty much any role that you need, be that an animator or an editor or such. I will say this, though, that this is predominantly a voice acting website, so it's highly likely that you're going to have better luck finding a voice actor than any other. But now let's give our character its traits. Notice that the marks with the crisscross are pretty much the vital ones. So I'm going to name our hero Homeboy Fly Guy, and let's give him some audition lines. You can give it anywhere between 1 to 3, so I highly recommend having him say something to give a genuine idea of what the character is like. And for this purpose, I'm going to say Craig is cool, Craig is a genius, Craig is the light in the darkness. And now another vital is to give a little short biography about our character. Homeboy tells it like it is. And what it is that Craig is the greatest. And now we're going to allow voice actors or singers to audition to this role with their demo reels, in case they don't want to read the script and would rather give a general idea of what their voices can range like. And now it's vital to let everyone know what kind of budget we're working with. In this case, it's going to be a zero budget project. And yes, there are some people out there willing to work for free. And the zero budget region is because it's for fun. Next, we're going to fill in what kind of attributes we want our voice actors or potential voice actors to fill in for this role. What kind of accent does the character have? How old is the character? What gender is your character? And how significant are they to the story? Next, we're going to want to pick a fairly accurate representation of our character. And for that, I'm going to go to my pictures, and I'm just going to, for fun, pick this image since Craig and I are both fans of Street Fighter. And you're free to edit the image to your liking, change up its size or what have you. Next, we're going to go into what kind of category our project is. Whether it's an animation or perhaps a narration. And yes, you can in fact pick only one. And in this case, it's an original project. And we're going to mention how it's going to be shared via YouTube. And we're going to save the project. Oh, by the way, always remember to press the save button. Next, we're going to give a little description of our project, blah, 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 blah. I think that gets the point across. And once again, save the project. Oh, by the way, feel free to change up the deadline anytime. Next, we're going to give a little logo, some kind of picture to represent what kind of project this is. And in this case, I'm going to take this fine opportunity to say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And please subscribe to Craig's YouTube channel too. Link in the description. Craig makes some really awesome stuff. And beautiful. And these parts are a bit optional, but you can also mention any previous works you've done. In this case, I'm going to just type in some random words, and I'm going to give a random link. Next, we're going to want to set up our social media links, whether that's your own personal website or your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn, etc. Next comes a little bio about you or what you're representing or your brand. In this case, we are gathered in the name of glory to our modern day hero, known as Craig. Shout out to you, my man. And we're going to want to make this public. If you do want to keep it unlisted, if you still want to work on it and expand upon the draft, then feel free to make it unlisted, and voila, let's publish the project. And here we are to our project dashboard. Now we're going to want to view our project, and this is how it's going to look like to everyone else. And there is the role right there. Okay, the verify this we're going to go to, and now it's going to mention what kind of searchability we're going to give our project. I don't quite get why exact. For this, I'm just going to go to the 5-minute one. Now we're in the Create a Project page. Now we're in the Create a Project page, so let's create a project. So it's in case they don't want to read the script and would rather give a general idea of what their voices can range like. Chapter 3, Auditioning. Now it's time to show any of our ambitious talents out there how on earth you can audition for a project. In this case, I'm going to audition for the Craig is the coolest dude in the entire universe project, and to do that, we want to press on Submit Audition. Next, we're going to want to browse our audition files to get the audio of whatever we've auditioned with. By the way, this takes both audio and it also takes video as means of auditioning. I'm going to show more on how you can audition with video a little later. Right now, I'm going to say, ready to submit. Next, we want to give it a little while to load up. By the way, Casting Call Club, this is one of the coolest loading outlets I've ever seen. Now here's a very interesting feature that it takes us to. Here we can save what's called meta tags to give other potential project owners an idea of what kind of range we have as a voice actor. In this case, I'm going to say the accent used in this particular audition was American, and I'm going to name the type of equipment I would have used to have auditioned with. Next, I'm going to mention the age that I'm emulating. I'm just going to say baby. Baby. Then we're going to mention what other skills and attributes we have to contribute. Next, we're going to mention the languages used in this audition. Obviously, I used English. Next comes the software used in this audition. So, feel free to mention what kind of recording software you use. GarageBand, Audacity, Adobe Audition. The list goes on and on. And now I'm going to refresh the page, and here we can see our audition. Hey, there it is. Let's press play and see how we did. Okay, yes, I submitted a song file of one of the songs that I've composed. Hope you like it. And, oh, look at there. We have 2 notifications going on. What on earth could they be? Well, it looks like we've just earned an achievement here on Casting Call, and it's mentioning how we have a new audition in our project. Let's check it out. And as you see, it's our very own audition featuring the song that I have composed. And we are ready to move right along. Next, I think I want to show you how you can submit an audition via video if you don't have any audio recording equipment. And for this, we're going to want to, once again, press the Submit Audition button. Next, we're going to want to browse our audition files, and this time I'm going to submit a video. Now, needless to say, longer videos tend to take longer to load up, so I'd say about the shorter your audition is, the better. As far as video goes, at least. Now we're going to give it a little bit to load up again, and again we're going to be treated to this wonderful loading screen. I just love it so much. Whoever thought of this is a genius. And now we're greeted once again with the potential to share our media tags, but since that is in fact optional, I'm actually going to skip that for the sake of time in this. And now I'm going to refresh the page, and there is our audition. Now usually you can tell if an audition is sent via video because usually they never really play when you just press the play button. And to see any auditions via video, you just press on links and download raw audio where you can see the original format. And there you see the video. Hope you admire this skull that I hang up in my room. Mwahaha. And once again, it showed us how we have a new audition on our project. Hooray! And there it is right there. Next, I'm going to mention the age of the audition and then we can mention what other skills we have if you don't have any recording equipment. In fact, you could say that almost every audition is worthy of checking out the links in the raw audio file. Chapter 4, Finding Projects. Now, admittedly, the Finding Projects option is a little bit tricky here on Casting Call Club, but there's certainly a way to do it. And for that, you are going to, well, first of all, they always show projects available on the home page, but another way to show how you can find a project is to filter out. If you're looking for a paid gig, then you can simply press on Paid Roles. And you can also press on Ratings to see how well rated the project is. All this means is how well described it is, basically. it's actually really hard to get 100%. Or heck, maybe you're looking for a specific project that contributes to a fan base that you're of. In this case, Craig and I are big fans of Transformers, so I'm going to check if there's any Transformers projects up for audition. Hey, yes there is! Is there any Street Fighter projects up for audition? Huh, I guess not. You can also filter out via category. In this case, I want to see if there's any animated projects up for audition. Classification, basically if it's an original project, or a project that's based on something that you're a fan of. What ages are you looking for specifically? Are you looking for a young adult, an old person, a baby? What languages are you willing to audition with? English? Perhaps you're bilingual and you know another language. What accents do you want to audition with? Maybe there's something out there that's a bit more for the Canadian accent today. Another way is you can find via the Open Projects button up here at the top corner. And this too is a way to find what projects are available for auditioning. It should be noted though that even if you have a hard time finding a project, doesn't mean it's not up for audition. Maybe sometimes you know a project owner and maybe you can ask them to send you a link. But maybe there's something out there that's for the Canadian accent today. Maybe there's something out there that's for the more Canadian accent today. Chapter 5, Finding Talents. Now this part is a really, really interesting bit, and right now we're going to push on the Find Talents option, and as you can see, there is quite a lot of talents to work with. But if you're looking for anyone specifically, well, if you even know anyone specifically, you can just simply type in their username and perhaps you know of it. Otherwise, you can look for anything that can help filter out, be that what kind of language they have. Let's see if there's anyone that knows Esperanto. Wow, 30 people know Esperanto. That's pretty impressive. Next, you can mention what kind of age you're looking for. In this case, I want to find someone who maybe can do an elderly voice, and look at that. Here's a folk that can do an elderly Esperanto speaking voice. And let's see if he can do it in an English British accent. Whoops, did not mean to press that. Let's see if he can do it in a British accent. Holy moly, he can. And next we can also mention the skills or interests. Perhaps there's someone out there that really likes Street Fighter. But maybe that doesn't necessarily speak in an elderly or Esperanto way. And if you know anyone, then feel free to type in their username if you know it. And here we can find HaBeFaStro or HaBeFaStro Scribe. Ahem, this is my page, by the way. Here you can see who I'm following, who I've auditioned for, what I've auditioned for, the projects that I've currently got up and running, or have had up and running in the past, my previous works, where I've contributed my voice to, my social media links, my skills, and even achievements. Now those are an interesting thing that develops over time. Oh, and also, here's a little kind gesture you can do for anyone. You can also recommend them to anyone, and it'll show up right on their page. And here you mention why you recommend that anyone cast them for a part. In this case, I recommend HaBeFaStro Scribe, blah blah blah, etc., yeah. But maybe that doesn't necessarily speak as in an elderly or Esperanto way. And now let's see if we can find anyone who goes by the name. Here you mention how you've come to know this person, and mention how exactly and why you recommend that anyone blah blah blah, etc., you know the drill. And now that I think I've pretty much covered everything, I'm going to very much delete this account because it served its purpose. And I've got to say thank you all so much for giving this tutorial a chance. And Now that this project is officially over and done with, I've got to say, I'm the scribe of HaBeFaStro. This is the channel of HaBeFaStro. Thank you so much for tuning into HaBeFaStro. Peace, love, and understanding, and remember to follow the crow-winged black cat.